This one goes out to all the dreamers, all the would-be influencers, and anyone who just wants to create content, but you're wondering, when am I gonna make it happen? This one's for you. So, I don't know if you're that person in your group, or you know someone in your group of friends who's always trying new things or wanting to explore the next trend, the next side hustle, the next new piece of technology, and you're wondering, when am I gonna take my shot? What does that look like? I can't tell you how many times I've tried different things, from candle making to making fitness vlogs to blogging itself, writing, and at one point I wrote and I published a poetry book, and I thought that's going to be the thing that I'll use to content create on. And, life just happened, and it seemed like that was it. I gave that one a real solid crack, and it didn't really break through to something that had momentum and allowed me to feel like I could keep doing it day in, day out. So, give it a bit of a pause. Here's the next iteration though, and I thought, well, why not do a callback to that previous season where I was writing a bit of poetry, where I was thinking that perhaps through word, through crafting that into shape and storytelling, that it could connect to other people around the world and hopefully connect to you behind the screen, wherever you're watching this. So here's one that I wrote, can't even remember when, but it was after I published my book of 100 poems. Inconsequential. How could so many syllables imply so little? What to do then with the mess, the miracle, the hope, the horrid, that walk alongside each other begging for more than just inconsequential? The caress of your brow, that last good meal, your first heartbreak, breaking the news that it won't be your last, that fight you'll never live down, or the ones that you'll never stop striving for, all of which are in consequence of the little unadorned specific intimacies where into me you see all I was, am, and could be. Spittle, enough ordinary to uplift the blind to see, to tighten grips round bars, setting bodies free, to seal a bond indelible between you and me. Inconsequential? Inconsequential? Shorter words have said more than this. Try living. Try life. Oh, I thought that was alright for the first shot of reading it after, I think it's about 2 years ago that I wrote this piece. And my background, I hadn't formally studied poetry. I just had an obsession with words and how they fit together and the certain rhythm that can come from those words. But even more than that, the story that can weave and how it can take you into memory, into experience, whether it's affirming something that you're going through right now or hearkening something from the past that needs a bit of processing, maybe healing, or transforming into something else, or maybe it's aspirational and these words take you to someplace beyond. I do remember, a close friend of mine, a childhood friend in fact, asked me, "Mate, you just gotta explain your poems, I don't get them." And part of me felt that in the gut, and I thought, it's probably because my words are unrelatable. But at the same time, I think that's what poetry evokes, or is meant to evoke in people. It's meant to evoke certain stumbling blocks to challenge the ways in which we've held ourselves or the world or other people together. And it's supposed to challenge those paradigms and to say, what aren't you seeing that's beyond what's obvious to you now? What don't you know that you're being invited to discover and to see if you're curious? Now, this particular piece, I have to say, just started with a word. Inconsequential. And I thought, inconsequential, 5 syllables, just the way that rolls off as you say it. I thought, that's just an interesting word. Like, where can we take this? And as I wrote this piece, it was commenting on how, on a literal grammatical level, 5 syllables is so many syllables needed to say something that shuts off the reality of whatever it's used against. So for example, I worked really hard and 9 to 5 I got paid, but then all of a sudden I lost all that money because I feel like it's gone to to bills and to rent and etc. etc. It almost felt like working was inconsequential. That this word that has so many syllables, that takes so much effort to say relative to other words, can just diminish and dismiss an entire experience in someone's life. So I decided to take that theme into, where have I felt dismissed? Where have I felt like the effort I had put behind things, or the things that I strive for, where has that been diminished or dismissed or disregarded and deemed as inconsequential, whether that's by me or by the people around me? And as I travel through this poem, I'm not going to go line by line, but as I get to the end, I'm almost critiquing the oversimplification that this word can imply. The way in which it just shuts down an experience and deems it as irrelevant or nothing at all. And I try and challenge and flip that by proposing that, shorter words that don't take as much effort to say, the seemingly simple, the seemingly ordinary, the seemingly mundane, those short words, much like many of the ordinary experiences of life, can say a lot more with a lot less syllables. And so I end the poem with those two phrases. What about, instead of inconsequential, see how much weight this phrase or this word carries. Living. Life. These single syllables that just cut through, but at the same time seem to try and attempt to hold so much together in so few syllables. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Would love to hear just some of your thoughts, or even where the poem took you. Let me know what you thought of this style of video. You can probably see from my last few that it's just a bit of a different mix, so would love to hear any feedback, if this is something that you're keen to see more of, or less of, granted. But yeah, until next time, let's go. Let's go. We're making this a thing.